in playing, the first really serious piece of the MIDI dancer. In 2009 was the premiere of our most recent piece that Don Scabiello and myself made called Loop Diver. In Loop Diver, we did something that we never had done before. We made a piece with no sensors whatsoever. And in our entire history, Don and I had always worked in that digital reflection model. But in this piece, we were particularly interested in the idea of loops. So I made a tool in Isadora that allowed you to do very complicated looping structures and impose them on any pre-recorded material. Yeah? To make my point today, I need to tell you a little bit about Loop Diver because, you know, for us, it was a very significant shift. So, to sum up a long process very quickly, in the end, what we decided to do, we made a 5-minute piece of choreography and a 5-minute piece of music. We performed that and videotaped it. Don and I took that digital videotape, digital recording, took it in Isadora with the tool that I had made, and started composing these looping structures. It's important for me to say, it's not an algorithm. It is something we sat down and actively worked out the way in which these loops would move and travel and appear in the piece to construct something that we were artistically getting a feeling about, yeah? Then we took the resulting, so the 5-minute tape, after that imposition of those loops, became 40 minutes long with nearly 4,000 edits. And then we took the computer screen, turned it around to our dancers and said, learn this. And that was, to say the least, quite a daunting task. To let you see what I'm talking about, I'm going to give you some very brief examples. This is the base material. Now, what I'm going to show you is the looped version of that material. We videotaped this actually from 6 angles so that the dancers could see themselves no matter where they were. So we'll start with the wide view, but then I'll zero in on the close-up so you can see. So what's happening here is the same material you just saw. The loop is a fixed duration, but it's shifting in time, revealing a little bit more of the movement each time it repeats. The clicks you hear and the notation at the bottom of the screen are part of the score. That's how the dancers were able to actually learn this material. That's their reference. So a few things happened that were really important. You know, Scott talked a few times about this idea of, for instance, let's use Trisha Brown's locus. This is a thing where a system was imposed that caused her to move in a different way, and arguably, according to your speculation, led to the development of release technique because of this cue that she was in. Here, we were also dealing with a problem. We were given this situation where first, Dawn and I had to think about an absolutely different way of composing this because of the way in which we had given ourselves the problem of dealing with these loops and the tool that we had to use. But even moreover, the dancers had to look at this tape, figure out how to replicate those movements precisely because that's what we asked them to do, and also to be able to actually remember it. And they were thrown into a complete, crazy situation of something they had never attempted to do before, and they had to invent new strategies and new ways of working to be able to actually do that. I'm not saying that this kind of imposition is new. I know many artists have done it, but for us, we gave ourselves a really, really difficult problem to deal with, and it resulted in something that we ended up being very proud of. So let me show you now the result as it appeared on the stage of that same section. Sorry, that's just too dark. I'm going to adjust the display if I can.